There are a lot of questions that we receive from customers around the terms of prior express written consent. Basically, do they expire or do they last forever? If you got prior express written consent before TCPA, will it carry over after TCPA? This is something we want to outline in this particular chapter of our TCPA course. So essentially, once a business or a consumer in this case has opted in, technically you have prior express written consent forever until they revoke that consent. But you cannot transfer it to other companies, and it always needs to be topically relevant to what you're trying to contact them about again in the future. And so let's kind of run through some of these use cases. So before using any leads for outreach, right, a business must first confirm that they have captured prior express written consent from that list of people that they're going to contact. There is proof of consent. So we basically need to have a document of when and how this consumer has provided consent. The burden of proof is on the business who's making the text or call. The other one is seller-specific consent. So make sure we have consent explicitly named. Basically, your business needs to be explicitly named as the entity authorized to contact the consumer or business. General or blanket consent is no longer permissible. And so this addresses that loophole of what if they have consented in, let's say, 2014, and as of 2025, the new TCPA laws ask for no blanket statements, but your consent from 2014 was a blanket statement. Unfortunately, you no longer have the consent to use it for any kind of blanket or general consent. You can only use it for the original consent. So if they came to your site and asked company X to call them about product X, you can only have company X contact them about product X. Yes, it doesn't expire, but you cannot go and sell that lead to someone else and say you have consent anymore, because you have consent under old laws, not under new laws. And so I think with some stipulations, the consent never expires, but you can't transfer it to another company unless you were following the new rules in the past. And since you didn't know about those rules at the time, it's unlikely that you were following them. And so just be careful about historical leads being looped in and trying to contact them again. But if you've captured this lead after the new rules go into effect January 27, 2025, and you want to contact them, 8 months later, as long as they haven't revoked consent, there's no expiration date to it. And so you should be able to use it for the same use case and representing the same company for as long as you want to be able to contact that person until they revoke it. Consent language is important here, so do review that exact language to make sure that it's meeting any new legal standards that might come up. And then contractual protections is the other line item. So make sure that you require the lead provider, that lead provider might be you, it might be someone else, to contractually indemnify your company if it has not secured prior express written consent in accordance with the rules. And so basically what this means is if you're going to rely on someone else to get this lead and they tell you it came from the old rules, you need to have some kind of contract to protect you that says, hey, I'm trusting that you have followed these new rules with this list that I'm buying from you. And if it turns out that you're not, then I can come after you because you're the one who broke the rules in this case, not me. And so this is all really important for you to follow if you are going to be using leads that you think have prior express written consent, but maybe it's been a couple of months since they consented, or maybe another person captured it, right? Those are basically the terms. They don't expire. And so that basically concludes this lesson on the terms of prior express written consent. Thanks.